Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jarret Johnson, and today we're talking about Texas Tech's roster post Jahmi'us Ramsey. Ramsey finally, on April 25th, a day ahead of the deadline, officially announced that he was declaring for the NBA. Now, he's declaring for the NBA without representation, which means he left the door open to return to Texas Tech. I think it's wise, it's the smart decision. That being said, I'm operating under the assumption that Jahmi'us is gone. All right, he's going to go in the NBA draft. He's going to be drafted, in my opinion, in the first round, probably late within the last 5 or 6 picks. But I think he's a mid to late first round guy, almost like solid, take it to the bank, and that's life changing money, great opportunity, and in my opinion, I think this is the best case scenario. Now, before you, what are you talking about? I think this is the best case scenario for all parties, and I'm going to give you my reasons why. Look, in most years, Jahmi'us leaving would be devastating for Texas Tech basketball, a player of his caliber. He's the highest rated guy in terms of recruiting rankings to ever play for Texas Tech, at least till Damari Burnett takes the court. Tremendous talent. He was Big 12 Rookie of the Year. He was an all Big 12 performer. High volume scorer, could be lethal. Sometimes defensively could be very good. That was, hit or miss. Sometimes he struggled. But for a true freshman, he's one of the best true freshmen in Texas Tech history. I don't think there's any debate in there. He's at least, top 5, if not way higher than that. But that being said, you look at what it does for Texas Tech. This will be 3 consecutive NBA drafts that Texas Tech has had a player go in the first round. I mean, come on. You put that in the hands of Chris Beard and his staff, and tell me he's not going to be closing on. I mean, he already is, but tell me that's not going to help him even more on the recruiting trail in terms of closing big name talent. I mean, if you talk to these recruits, especially the high end, the highly rated guys, I mean, their thoughts are really on going to the NBA. Which coach, which school, is going to put me in the NBA, has the best chance of putting me as high as I could possibly go, in the NBA draft. And then, you start talking about development. They start looking at just kind of the fit and the culture. And then, of course, they want to win. Most of them, they're going to be there. They might as well go ahead and win a championship, get to the Final Four. So that is certainly the case, with guys that Texas Tech are recruiting now. So having one, okay, great. Having 2, having 3 in a row. I mean, who can dispute that Texas Tech puts guys, in the NBA? And these are all 3 of those guys are guys that Chris Beard recruited. These aren't leftover guys. Like Keenan, who was a great player. Zach Smith, even Norris was a guy who was recruited by Tubby Smith. No, these 3 first-round picks were all drafted by Chris Beard and his staff, all developed, and then all put into the league in the first round. That's assuming that Jahmi'us does stick in the NBA draft and is selected in the first round, like I assume. I've also been, operating under this assumption since December, because I've talked with some people, good sources who were like, look, he's going. Unless something crazy happens, the plan was always to be one and done. And I think that's how the coaching staff was operating too. They expect him to be one and done. I think they've been recruiting, looking to add to the roster, expecting that to be the case as well. And here, takes me to my next point, and why I think it's better for Texas Tech, actually, if Jahmi'us moves on. Now, don't get me wrong. If Jahmi'us does come back, they'll find a spot for him. They'll be able to find some shots in some minutes for Jahmi'us Ramsey. So if you're expecting me to trash Jahmi'us, wrong video. I really like his game. I like Jahmi'us. I actually like his demeanor. I think some of his calm, cool nature has been misjudged as him being aloof. I don't think that. I think, first off, Coach Beard wants the emotionless player, but second of all, I think that's just Jahmi'us, the way he carries himself anyways, which I like. There's a toughness about Jahmi'us, and there is a kind of an even keel about Jahmi'us that I really like. So why is it better for Texas Tech? Look, they're bringing in so much talent. First off, they're returning, as far as we know at this point, Terrence Shannon, all right, Kevin McCullough at similar positions. You go down the list. Kyler Edwards, Davide Moretti said that he hinted that he's coming back, since the end of the season. So for his senior year, I mean, you just talk about the returners. I mean, it's going to be hard to find minutes for those guys. Joel Ntambwe, who, look, he's more of a big guy, but he also is kind of like a 3, really, And those 2, 3, 4 positions a lot of times are interchangeable. The way, or really 1 through 4, really the way that Coach Beard runs his system. So with the big guy, it kind of has the 5, but that's just the returners. Then you start talking about guys we're bringing in. Amari Burnett, 5-star McDonald's All-American, combo guard, which would certainly take away from Jahmi'us' minutes. And then you get 2 6'7", 4-star, top 100 in the nation, 4-star forwards. Micah Peavy out of Duncanville, his Jahmi'us' teammate, and then Chibuzo Agbo, who's he's a 3-and-D kind of type, but he's like 225, so he can bang around down low. He's got some back to the basket game. He's a really interesting player, Chibuzo Agbo. I can't wait to see him in a Red Raider uniform. So you start looking at all that, and then you go Jamarius Burton, who's a traditional transfer. I understand. So as it stands right now, the assumption is he'll have to sit a year. But that being said, there's a rule going around, and I have also been operating under the assumption that this is going to pass. And I think the coaching staff has been recruiting that way too. You look at the way they went after regular traditional transfers this offseason. But the rule is that each player, as long as they're academically eligible, they haven't been suspended due to some kind of disciplinary action, there's some pretty basic criteria they have to fall under. But as long as they do, they'll be allowed to a one-time chance or opportunity to transfer to another program without having to sit down for a year. So that means they'll be immediately eligible one time. It's a one-time exemption for all athletes, all men's and women's sports and all sports. And the recent scuttlebutt is that that's probably going to pass before the fall. The more we hear about it, the more it looks like it's going to be a reality. So if that's the case, and Burton, the traditional transfer who signed with Texas Tech out of Wichita State after averaging over 10 points, almost 4 rebounds and 4 assists, a couple steals, a guy who's a very good defender, on the ball defender. He has that reputation. I mean, he's going to play. There's no way if he's healthy, he's going to play. So where are all these minutes going to come from? And if you bring back Jahmi'us, who, like I said, they'd figure it out, it would make it more difficult, though, to figure out those minutes. Texas Tech's roster is almost there. I think they need 1, maybe 2 more big guys, when they play the big boys like Kansas. Just so they have the versatility to bang inside and they don't get killed on the boards. But in terms of guards, scoring, versatility, defense, athleticism, they have check. Check all those boxes more than this program has ever seen. Look, I like Jahmi'us. I like his game. I think I like him more than almost anybody that I know in the media. I'm a big fan of his game and his personality and all that. But this will be better for the program in terms of the recruiting aspect. Obviously, be really good for Jahmi'us to become a millionaire with first round money. And I think it'll be good for the roster just overall in terms of freeing up more minutes for some amazing talent. So this is all win-win-win. I'm really excited, really happy for Jahmi'us and the program. Be interested to see where he goes. I think he may go actually a little sooner than some are predicting, kind of like Jordan Brooks did from the football program. And man, just another Red Raider going in the first round, it looks like, in another sport, another draft. So just really exciting stuff, exciting for the Ramsey family. And I think that's going to do it. Thank you for watching, and until next time.